to CFRN, a community who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phone. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Well, let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Thursday, 4th day of January 2018. Boy, time's flying, huh? It's already the 4th. Okay, in about 5 minutes, we'll be saying it's December 4th, 2018. You just wait and see, all right? Now, happy Thursday. You made it past hump day. You had a 4-day work week. You're on that downward slide into the weekend. Ooh, you can't even wipe that grin off your face, can you? All right, welcome back to those of you returning, and to those who are here for the very first time. Let us roll out the digital red carpet and extend you a very special welcome. We are in our second decade of broadcast history, and we hope you, newcomer, will pencil us into your day planner for the next decade. All right? All right. So, I have a chart up of the S&P 500 Emini Futures. Why? Well, because that's what everybody wants to trade. Why? Liquidity, man. Haven't you heard? Well, yeah, I have. But I noticed that you're, no offense, I mean, We got to start somewhere. I notice you're trading one contract. Yeah? Well, that's where they told me to start. Okay. So you understand liquidity is not really an issue. Yeah. But you're very unusual S&P 500 E-mini Futures action this week. 2714/2715. That is our highest weekly trading zone, okay, for the S&P. Now, does this mean we blew it? No. Does it mean that after 8 years, however long it's been, 2000, I guess it's 9 years? Oh my goodness, time does fly. No, 8 years last December 9th. This past December 14th. That's right. So anywho, does this happen a lot? You know, sometimes. Does it often happen that the week will close like this? Oh, baby. You're talking a pretty rare event. It has happened. It'll happen again. Could happen this week. However, based on historical observations, if you were a betting man, and I'm not, but if you were a betting man and the odds makers in Vegas were giving odds, based on historical observance for 8 years, the odds-on favorite is that by close of business tomorrow, I don't know how it'll happen or why it'll happen, but based on historical observance, the odds makers would be more friendly towards a wager that the week will close at 27.15 or below. And that's all I'll say about that. If you can't see the chart I have up, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow those instructions, and within 30 seconds, you'll be registered all the way through the month of January. That means you'll be able to join the show each day with one-click access. Now, to all my friends out there on the YouTube broadcast, I'm sorry I still don't have my screen set up so that I can monitor the chat box over there again today. I'll really try to have it done tomorrow. I know you guys feel a little ostracized out there, and I'm sorry for that. But anyway, the other option, folks, is to go to youtube.com/CFRN/live, and there you have it. Charts, chat box, the whole nine. If you bookmark that page, guess what? You've got one-click access every day. You don't even have to fool with registering. How cool is that? Yeah, I thought you'd like it. Okay, so that's how you enjoy the show. Now, if you only want the audio portion, lots of options. Go to our homepage, click Listen Live. Go to TuneIn Radio, search CFRN. You'll get the live, real-time audio. And, oh, if you're on a smartphone, you can download the free GoToWebinar app, and you can hear the audio and see the charts. Also on your smartphone, you can use the YouTube app to go to that YouTube address I just gave you, youtube.com/CFRN/live. You can hear our melodious voices and see our dynamic charts. That's pretty cool, huh? All right, let's take a look at the numbers around the world, see what's going on out there. It's a big place, the world. We had crude numbers today. Typically they come on Wednesday, but when there's a Monday holiday, they shift to Thursday. All right, now these are cash markets, all right? So don't get too worked up if they don't match the numbers on your screen. We'll get into the futures in a minute, but we always start with the cash numbers. Here at home, the Dow currently up 149 points. That's over half of 1%. NASDAQ up 17.5 points. S&P 500 up 13 points. That's almost half of 1%. And the Russell 2000 is up almost a half a point. However, by the letter of the law, that means everything's green for the moment. Crude oil is up 41 cents on those inventory numbers, trading 62.04 last. Now that's an increase in the price of crude of a little more than 0.5%. Gold, green again, up $2.10, trading 13.20.60 last. Now, I'll just go ahead and tell you, our highest weekly trading zone for gold this week is 1322/23, but that's on the futures. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Now, let's go to the Asian markets, see what the color of the day there was. Oh, it's as green as it gets. The Nikkei up 741 points. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen the Nikkei up over 3% on the day. Man, they're hitting this new year hard. Shanghai up 17 points. That's over 0.5%. And the Hang Seng, which was up 300 and some odd points the other day, is up 175 points today, and that is over 0.5%. As we move into the European markets, will the color of the day prevail? Why, yes. Yes, it will. The FTSE closed the session up 25 points. The DAX was up 189 points. Now that's 1.5%. The CAC up 82 points on the session at the bell, and that's over 1.5%. So we have strong global markets. I got to go back to that Nikkei one more time. Up over 3%, 741 points. You don't see that every day. We'll have to get to the bottom of that and see what it was that rallied the Nikkei. I mean, everything in Asia is a mover and a shaker. Everything in Europe's a mover and a shaker, with the exception of the FTSE. And in the U.S., yeah, we got one mover and shaker. That's the Dow. S&P, you know, it's right at 0.5%. So anytime you have an increase in an index of 0.5% or more, that's kind of a big deal. Okay, once you cross 1%, it's officially a big deal. And if you go to 2%, man, that is huge. And when you do 3%, whoa, you got to get to the bottom of that. I mean, there's something important going on. And there's something important going on in the world of Ethereum. Now, most of you know that the CT Global Token is built on the Ethereum blockchain, not the Bitcoin blockchain. Okay? There's reasons for that I won't go into now. But if you want to know more, you could always go to christiantraders.com and read all about it. But here's what's big in the world of Ethereum today. Just days after hitting $900 per token, Ethereum's native Ether token has topped $1,000 for the first time in history. I'll show you a chart in just a second. After spending 2 days mostly below its previous high of $900, Ether went on a rally today and hit its latest milestone of $1,000 early this morning. Despite this rally, it still remains the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap, having recently lost second place to Ripple's XRP token. According to data from CoinMarketCap, XRP, which is the symbol for Ripple, has grown to more than $40 billion in the last day. Today, we also saw the overall cryptocurrency market jump past. Hold on to your hat and your seat. Sit down. You ready for this? The overall cryptocurrency market just ran past $770 billion, that's B as in boy, billion dollars. Let that sink in for a minute. Now, this marks new highs just weeks after a correction, a gut-wrenching correction, saw that figure drop to $418 billion. Okay, so just a few weeks ago, on that pullback, total market cap of all cryptocurrencies, the big boys, the altcoins, everything, pulled back to 418 billion. And then in just a couple weeks, we've almost doubled that to 770 billion. If you thought 2017 was the year of the crypto, you might want to notch that up to 2018. It's early in the year, but we'll see what happens. The largest cryptocurrency by market cap, Bitcoin, is down on the day, having dropped from its week's high of 15,393. Bitcoin has mostly traded sideways over the past week, with prices staying in the $13,000 to $14,000 range, interrupted briefly with a drop to nearly 12,000 on December 30th. Bitcoin's dominance in the cryptocurrency market cap remains just below 33%, having dropped from 43% over the last week. Okay, so let's take a look at that chart. What do you say? Okay, sit tight, and here we go. Okay, now this is Bitcoin. This is that sideways trade we're talking about. Okay, and we are having a down day, hence the red candle. Now, if we just move down the page, like so, then come over here and type in ETH, as in Ethereum or Ether, right here. Now see, why are there more ETH USDs? Why is there more than one? Okay, this quote, what I'm going to show you, is coming out of Coinbase. This one comes out of Bitfinex. This one comes out of Bittrex. This one comes out of Bitstamp. Kraken. I mean, it goes on, all right? So, but most of us are familiar with Coinbase. And then, you know, something new popped up on my radar screen a couple days ago. I don't think it's new, but for some reason, it's the first time I saw it. CoinMama.com. Now, that brings up the mother of all search engines. Man, that guy cost me a ton of money. Who? Who, you say? That fellow on Shark Tank. I can hardly bring myself to say his name. Yeah, Cuban. Oh, God. He thought naked short selling was cute. He did. Anyway, you've heard my sad tale of woe. Ethereum. Look at that. Go Ethereum. Go Ethereum. See, how do we... You have to partner up with somebody with different charts. I mean, they've been very kind with us on these charts, but I think we need more tools. Let me talk to them. So, the high of the day, what do we got? High of the day should be... Oh, if you put your finger there and then look at those green numbers, it clearly tells you that it opened the session at 938.16, put in a high at 994.89, a low of 906, and it's currently at 983. Huh. Now, as John brought up yesterday, we first dipped our toe in Ether when it was around $300. So that's pretty cool. And we dipped our toe in Bitcoin when it was first around about 5,000. So no complaints, I guess. So now, I haven't brought this up in a while, so I suppose now is as good a time as any. Free charts. Let me see if my guy fixed that. Uh-oh. Apparently he didn't. Or maybe he's in the process. Maybe that's why that happened. Yeah. Okay, this has drug out way longer than it ever should have. And but we're still on the job. Freecharts.com, a CFRN company. Okay. we got rid of our old charting platform here because of reasons I won't even go into. But I guess my guy's in the process of putting the charts on right now. Charts, charts, charts. We have it all. Do we really? Where does that take you? I thought he had put me a chart up on the front page. See how easily I'm fooled. Quotes, portfolio manager, trading. Oh, there we go. So you can access these charts over here. Now, they're not just crypto charts. They will tell you whatever you want to know. Let's see. Oh, I don't know. Amazon. AMZN. The stock. Yo, trading $1,200 today. You can do a few things. I mean, you can turn it into candles. You can turn it into bars. You can turn it back into candles. And then over here, you can apply some basic indicators like the advanced decline ratio, which, you know, some people like that. It's something that Mike Reed uses. I never really put it to use myself. Oh, I clicked that twice, didn't I? Well, that's not right. Anyway. Okay, I just wanted to bring it to your attention that it's here and that you're free to use it, hence the name freecharts.net. We got to get that to resolve.com. So we own them both, so why the heck not? Go Santa Fe. Okay, we got consolidation taking place in Santa Fe. Now, Santa Fe was our #1 stock pick for 2017, and it's now 2 years in a row. It's also our top stock pick for 2018. I have a 130-page research report. It's a year old plus. However, if you would like a copy, send me an email, gold@cfrn.net. Okay? All right. Now, before he gets ticked off, we better get over to Michael so he can do his recap and tell us everything that happened in the live training room today. I think there was big excitement there. I was working on some projects, so I couldn't come in and crack wise like I often do. But I know Michael's going to tell you this in just a second, but dude, if you haven't taken the trial, you really should, because this isn't about just, you know, selling you some catchy indicators and handing you a PDF with some instructions and slapping you on the back and saying best of luck. No. Once you take the trial, if you decide to become a CFRN partner, Michael and I make a commitment to invest the next 90 days of our lives teaching you how to trade. See, that's very different than many training organizations. Especially the late night TV guy who says for $7 grand he'll teach you how to trade in 5 days. You know what? If I could actually teach a person how to trade in 5 days, I would charge 70 grand, not 7. But whether it's 7 grand, 70 grand, or 7 million doesn't change the fact that it's impossible to teach somebody how to trade in 5 days. You just can't do it. So, if you've had enough of the gurus and the gimmicks and the gadgets and the gadgets and all this stuff and the last indicator you'll ever need stuff, then you really need to be in that trial and show up every day, use our indicators, get familiar with our strategy, get as close to the metal as you possibly can, because at the end of 5 days, you'll have to make a decision as to whether or not what we do is right for you. And I'm going to tell you something. Many years ago, somebody taught you how to drive. And right now, because of what they did so many years ago, you could take off your headset, turn off your computer, go outside, get in your car, if you have one, or truck, or daddy van, or whatever, and go anywhere you want. You can go to the Circle K, you go to 7-Eleven, you go to San Diego, because somebody loved you enough to teach you how to drive. Well, guess what? We love you enough to teach you how to trade. This is a life skill, okay? In other words, you hunker down for these 90 days. Actually put in the man hours, screen time, listen, learn, ask lots of questions, and you too could learn how to trade, okay? Now, that's different than just running some system or some methodology. Learning how to trade gets to the core of what these markets are all about. I'll tell you more when I come back, but I can see that Michael is ready to roll. Michael, good morning. Good afternoon.
Good morning. Yes.
Peace.
Good afternoon. Yes. Good afternoon.
¿Cómo está?
All right.
Muy buen.
Yes. All that.
Hi. Okay. All right.
Bonjour.
So you ready to roll?
I am ready to roll.
Did you want to exchange any, like sharp barbs, quips, quotes, make a joke, anything?
Barbs, quips, joke.
All right.
I don't have anything off the top of my head.
Okay.
I don't have anything. I'm sorry.
Hey, you know the little green bar that you click every day up there at the top?
This one, right up here.
Yeah.
Yes.
What happens when you click it now?
You really want me to click it?
Well, I don't care. Go ahead, because I want to make sure it's working.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay, because they sent me something in the mail about, I don't know. I'll get it squared away, and I'll leave you alone. Is this a 5-minute deal, a 10-minute deal?
It's only 5 trades, so it's going to be a quick one. 5
Okay,
minutes.
well,
probably.
I think you could devote 2 minutes per trade.
You think?
And if you would be so kind as to tell the nice folks how they take the free trial, and that
Plan to.
if they sign up for the trial, we expect to see their smiling face in that room every single day. We expect them to ask lots of questions so that we know they're serious. We expect them to download the indicators and actually try to use them. We expect them to sign up for a free one-on-one mentoring session during that week so that we can really get down to the nitty-gritty. Because at the end of the 5 days, we want them to be able to make a well-informed decision as to whether or not becoming a partner is right for them. We're not going to try to sell you. We're not going to twist your arm. We're not going to drag you in screaming. No. At the end of 5 days, you need to convince us that this is the thing you've been looking for. Because, yeah, you're about to spend some money, but we're about to invest 90 days of our life. And since there's 2 of us, that's 180 days, actually. And how much combined experience do we have in these markets? Oh, let's see. With futures, I'm down for 12 years. How about you, Michael?
Oh, at least 12.
Okay, there you go. A quarter of a century of experience in these markets. If you can't learn from us, or maybe you have a learning, what do you call that?
Disability.
A thing. Oh yeah, right. And so I'm going to shut up now and hit mute. All right?
All right.
And chances are I'll be here when you get done.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm shooting for,
All right.
but you know how radio is. Anything can happen.
I know. I do know.
Okay. All right.
All right. I'm going to go. Okay. Did he hit mute? Yes, there was a partners meeting tonight, 9 p.m.
Yes, he did. Oh man, I forgot all about that. I got 2 mentoring sessions back to back. I got a partners meeting. Michael, when I signed up for this, you said there would be breaks.
I didn't say there'd be long breaks.
Well,
It's bathroom break.
You told me there'd be math. I accepted that, but
There's always math.
yeah, there's always math. Yeah, guys, I'm serious. We stay really busy here. I haven't been to the head since I think 2008. It was. Maybe I'll do that now. All right, bye. I'm gonna hit mute.
All right. Just wondering if he's really going to hit mute. All right. So Cuban has a crypto exchange. I don't know about that, Joan. Yes, Bob Z, there is a partners meeting tonight. And let's get into this now. It is 12:32. 12:32. Okay. So if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page at cfrn.net. This is the home page right here. And this banner, excuse me, and this banner will drop down at the top of the page where it says sign up for the CFRN live training room, 100% free trial, user indicators, learn our strategy. Click here. When you click there, you'll be brought to this page, which is what we just did. And when you come to this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Then click on the submit button. Once you hit that submit button, you will be sent a confirmation link. Okay? You must click on that confirmation link. If you don't click the confirmation link, we do not know that you took the free trial. Okay? You got to click that confirmation link. Okay. So if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 4th day of January, 2018. We made 7 ticks on the Russell today, and 7 ticks in gold. That got us to $105. And I just have to block that number. And it took 76 minutes and 5 trade setups to get there. Right? And that's all we did today. It's 5 trade setups. So on the month and on the year, so far, on the month we're at $421. That's over 3 days, averaging $140 per day. Okay, and the same thing for the year right now, right? Because it's the month of January. And I'm not going to scroll down there because I haven't fixed this yet. I don't know why it's not working properly. This should be this divided by this. But this should be the sum of all of these. And to do that sum, this should not be where it is. It should be like this. Okay, so somehow everything got shifted over. This row right here got shifted over one column. One column. And I guess if I do insert column, that's not going to work. That'll screw everything up. I'll figure it all out later. Anyway, that's the spreadsheet. Okay, so today in gold, we missed this first trade setup right here. Okay, now it started out really choppy in here in gold, and then we finally had a long trade right here that I didn't get filled on. I was just a little late getting into that one. And that one took off without me, but it gave us second opportunity right here, and this is where we actually got the gold for the day, was right here. Okay, we got long on the close above the MA1 and above the trend line right there, and took 7 ticks profit on that. All right, now we did not do anything right here because it was pushing in the new high of the day, and then you can see since then it has come down, did not give a trade opportunity, went back up, and it did actually have a trade opportunity right here, okay, off the BBC, but it did not put in a higher swing. This was during the break. Did not put in a higher swing there. Okay, so that was it for the gold. All right, now I spent 5 minutes so far, so Dwayne should have plenty of time. On the euro, we had just the one trade right here. It was a break even. Okay, it looks like there was probably a momentum long trade from right here as well. That went up pretty well, but we missed that. Then there was one more trade way over here that we also missed. That worked out pretty well. And during the break, we had absolutely nothing. Okay, on crude oil, we had a break-even trade right here. Then we had the crude inventories come out right here. And And it looks like there was a long trade right here, a momentum long trade here. There was not one here because is a momentum going into dynamic resistance. So you got to break that dynamic resistance before you can take that trade. But we did have one here that went up pretty well. And that's about it. Okay, on the Russell, we had a couple of opportunities here. Here we go. On the Russell, this was our first trade of the morning right here. On the Russell, we got short and we took 7 ticks profit on that. We missed the follow-up trade and we took one over here that was a break even. We missed this one and this one. Both of those were shorts, closes below the trend line. Okay, this one because it didn't hit the BBC, and this one because the cycle was the wrong color. All right. There was a trade here at 10.19. I did not. No, I'm sorry. The black step line crossed below. That's what disqualified that. Okay. Change of direction. You're not trending in here really, so you don't want to take that trade right there. Then it got really choppy. Started pushing sideways. See, we were drawing trend lines in there, hoping for trade setups, but they just weren't happening. During the break, once it broke dynamic resistance here, there was there was a bounce off the BBC right here for that leg up. Then a little more there, and we changed directions and came back over here for a move down. Okay, this was a bounce off the BBC short, right? And that came down here. You had some opportunity to get some profit out of that, right? Now the ES was pushing in all-time highs all morning. See, the last one was right here, 27.29, 27.29, all-time high. The problem with it is that when it's pushing in all-time highs, you don't have room to move your stop to break even. Okay, so starting out in here, right in here, would have been a momentum long trade on the ES, but again, it was pushing in new highs. It came back, hit the BBC. Now the cycle's all messed up, so you got nothing in there. Now it's momentum trades going into dynamic resistance. You can't do that. Okay, that was the problem with the ES today. Again, though, pushing in all-time highs. All right. Now, the 6E at 7 a.m. Eastern. Here is the 6E at 7 a.m. Eastern. Right in here. Not a whole lot of action. You see how long these bars were lasting in here? 651 to 657 was a 6-minute bar. That was a 3-minute bar. That was a 9-minute bar. That was a 5-minute bar. 4-minute. 3-minute. 1 minute. It started to pick up right here at 7:30, Alex. Okay, right in here. So what you would have been looking at, trend line like that, close above the trend line right there for that leg up. Okay, that's what you would have been looking at. All right, back to this. All right, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, the 4th day of January 2018, we made 7 ticks on the NQ and 7 ticks on gold. That put us at plus 105. Took us 76 minutes and 5 trades to get there to plus 105, and we took a total of 5 trades. So on the month now, we're at $421. That is per contract, and we took a total of 3 trades. So we're averaging $140 per day. With an $8 commission, that's $277. With a $5 commission, it's $331 net profit. Okay. We've not had that many trades so far this month. All right. If you have not taken a free trial with us, And just go to the home page here at cfrn.net, right up here at the top where it says sign up for the CFR Live Training Room, 100% free trial. User indicators, learn our strategy. Click here. And you click there, and it'll bring you to this page right here. Okay. And on this page, we simply ask for your email, your first name, and how you found us. You hit the submit button. Once you do that, you will be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay. If you don't click the confirmation link, we do not know that you took the trial. Okay. All right. And that is that. And I made it last 11 minutes. All right. So with that, we'll pass it back off to studio A in fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Blaine, if you are ready.
Oh my goodness, 1 minute it's shut up, the next minute it's wake up. Man.
If you are ready.
Schenectady. When I stopped cursing many years ago, I took on Schenectady as it's like an all-purpose in my head, you know. Nothing against people who live in Schenectady. I'm sure it's a very nice place. It's just what popped into my head that day when I said,
where is Schenectady?
You can't, in New York, I think.
Is it New York?
I think so.
Okay, I was thinking Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, recap of the recap.
Today it took 76 minutes and 5 trades to get to $105 per contract.
Could you say that again?
76 minutes and 5 trades.
Okay. Oh, so you had to work for your money today.
I did. I had to go 76 minutes.
Oh, and he had to make 5 trades. Good job. Excellent. Excellent. So, my earlier comments about Cuban prompted a question from a listener. So Cuban has a crypto exchange? No. At first he said it was stupid and it was lunacy, and the next thing you know he was plowing money into crypto, but he hasn't built an exchange. My friend Patrick Byrne, who's the CEO of Overstock.com, he is opening the first SEC sanctioned cryptocurrency exchange called T as in terrific zero, Z-E-R-O. I gotta call him and figure out what that means. He stays so doggone busy. I don't know if I'm gonna get through to him, but I'm gonna try. And also, Joan, I not only answered your question, but I typed in a question to you. And if you could type me back an answer, I'd appreciate that. Because I think you might be the last person on Santa's list at the moment. I know there's more inbound, but you in fact, let me just say this to everybody. Last night, I endeavored to make sure that all owners had their certificate in their hand. If you're an owner and you don't have a certificate, or you have an incorrect certificate, please let us know today. Support at christiantraders.com, because we're like caught up, and before the next avalanche hits us. Okay, Joan, see, that's because I didn't think so. That's because I haven't sent it, so don't even bother to look. Well, you can look just to be safe, but as soon as the show's over today, I'll get that taken care of for you. Okay? Okay. All right, is John here yet?
Yes, John is here.
Okay. So we had an awesome show yesterday. It got a little wonky towards the end. Our friend Wayne Jett came to visit with us, but he was having microphone problems. So he'd be talking, and right when he would get to the point he was trying to make, his mic would die. So John and I would start talking, and then all of a sudden Wayne would come back. So it was a little disconcerting, but all in all, it was really a fantastic show. John was on fire. He had some great points to make, and I'm ready for more. So, Michael, I will get the invitations out this afternoon. I got 2 back-to-back mentoring sessions, and then we'll do a partners meeting. Partners workshop tonight, guys. If you've been on the trial and you're ready to become a partner, you got a few hours to get your paperwork in, and you can get into that meeting tonight. All right? I can't send you an invitation unless you're a partner, so make it happen. And John, I'm going to open your mic right now. John, you are live. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you for being here. Really a great show yesterday. I thought about it afterwards and listened, and yeah, you brought some really great points, and I know everyone in the audience appreciates that.
You can add 45 years of experience to your little club.
There you go. Okay, great. You were listening. Fantastic.
And maybe Ed and Garrett will put us over a century of experience, I think.
Do you remember when you and I met? Do you remember how green I was to all of this?
Oh, sure. But you told me you're gonna learn from everybody you can, and you certainly did that. And you've identified a kind of a niche in the market that really is unique. It's absolutely unique. Nobody has this what you've developed, and credit to you because you did it yourself, and it's something that works. It's look, whatever you can use to assist what you're doing that works is a huge plus. And look, the most important thing, the reason why Wall Street performance is so dismal, and it is dismal compared to some of the things that you've been doing and Mike has done, and the other contributors, is because the losses are what kills the performance on Wall Street. And these people who, it's been done, it's like sheep, they've been doing this the same way for generations. And that's why when we have bear markets, they never get out of the top. I mean, they ride the bear all the way down. Yep. And very often sell at the bottom, and then this is just the way they teach it at the universities, these so-called fund managers, and most of them underperform the market. The underperformance of the market is actually quite staggering, and they're not. I would say, look, what we try and do here, and what I try and do every day, is to maximize what your money is doing, and it's dynamic use of the money. You have to maximize the leverage, and you have to try and find what's working what's moving every day. And actually today I picked off a few winners right from the get-go. We sold Nvidia right at the open. It opened higher. We covered it at I think 213. It rallied back to 15. So we took about $3 or $4 out of Nvidia already today. I took a shot at shorting with Western Digital. It sold from the opening at around 80, 82, 81 and a half, somewhere like that. And hang on a second, I'll tell you exactly.
What you're saying,
it opened at 80. Dwayne, it opened at 82, right? This is for real now. Opened at 82, went down to 78, 70, 79, 70. Sorry, no, 78, 70, and we covered it at covered and reversed at 80, and right now it's at 81.60. So that's a heck of a day for one stock. We do that not every day, but many days we get trades like that. And listen, I didn't have any idea it was going to break that hard to begin with, and I didn't expect it to rally so strongly. But the discipline that I have imposed upon myself, just the same as you do, is what has gotten the results. And the right now, we've got, and look, Priceline is another one. Look, we shorted the FANGs pretty much at the top yesterday. Between yesterday and today, they're down, but they're not crashing or anything like that. But you look at Facebook, they sold off from the highs this morning. Amazon made a double top, and which we talked about yesterday, was setting up. Priceline in particular is probably the worst of the FANGs today from the highs, and it's made a major reversal. And if you look at the chart on Priceline, I would say it's kind of an ominous chart at the moment. Now, not, you can never say never, because in the same way this stock dropped $100 or more from the highs which we had shorted the day before or several days before.
What's the symbol on Priceline?
PCLN. PCLN.
PCLN. Hey, look at this Ethereum while I've got it up. You see that?
Yeah, over 1,000, right? It's
well, it's teeter-tottering right at 1,000.
Okay.
It's 983. I don't think it's quite broke 1,000 yet.
I saw they did report 1,000, but maybe it's pulled back.
Okay. So PCLN, you say?
Yeah, PCLN. It's a very interesting stock because it's sort of a,
I've got okay, I want the NASDAQ version. Here we go.
The earnings that are coming out this month are going to be, pretty critical
what
to
in the
how
world
this
happened
market.
here, John? Look at this.
Well, that's that first drop. You're looking at the second drop. Can you squeeze it up a bit?
Oh yeah.
Can you get some more?
Yeah. Yeah, like that.
Okay, look at the first drop. See, look at the all-time high. We actually. Is
that the all-time high right there?
Yeah, we got out. We were long, and we got out and went short before that drop, and we covered it right down at that first greener, right down at the bottom at about 18, somewhere around 17 something. 1780, 800 or so.
What was your red flag? Did you get out before the drop here?
You know what? It was a bit of luck, to be honest with you. I probably see the double reds there. The double reds.
Oh yeah, I would have put a sell on a stop right below those boys. And
right. Exactly. No, but I actually had it. I went in beforehand, and I did have to suffer a little bit going against me, but I stuck with it. And I had no idea it was going to gap down, but it did. And then if you see where it got a bit spiky right about 1950, and we shorted it again up there and got the second drop, and then we covered
and then there was
down
a
at
third
the
drop.
lows.
Yeah,
exactly. And look at today's reversal. That's a pretty ominous looking deal. Because,
yeah, guys, look at my dotted line cursor. Okay, I'm going to drag it right to this area and look left. See at bottom. You might just be about to see that area become resistance. It's possible. I mean, if you can blow through it, the next hurdle is right here.
Yeah, I mean, it could do. Look, what's really happened with Priceline is it's had a huge three-wave pullback down to that bottom. That's why we covered when it was down at 1668, somewhere down there, and it has rallied up. Now, what you got to be careful of is, we've had a similar deal happen with NVIDIA, where we got a break and it did this sort of sideways motion, and then NVIDIA is almost back to an all-time high. So even though we reversed today, you have to be very careful, because I'm not entirely, unless the whole market tanks, which it might, that reverse, if the market tanks, I think the Priceline is going to probably head lower. But if we start breaking out to the upside, and if Priceline comes out with better than expected results in this quarter, that it could blow right up through that number, and it could go to an all-time high. So you have to be very careful here, being on the short side. This is something to be watched, and I would tend to go with any kind of an upward move, if it happens. And if you put up NVIDIA if you can, Dwayne.
Okay, NVDA. Okay. All right.
Yeah, you see the way NVIDIA broke, right? And then it did this sideways stuff, just like Priceline, and then bang, look what happened. So you have to be, careful. But right now, today, the market actually, NVIDIA is starting to break down. It's kind of got a spike. It spiked to 218, and it's at 214 now.
This thing's at all-time highs, right?
Yeah, it's close. But look at OLED. OLED is another one in the same category, and it's not looking so great today. And these are pretty high-flying stocks. These are pretty high-flying.
That looks almost like an identical chart.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, the NASDAQ is only up 11 versus a Dow of 171. The Dow, like we said yesterday,
Yeah,
the Dow
Dow
started
finally
catching up.
came out of the closet.
Yeah. But now today, you have to be pretty careful today because the Nasdaq, if it goes negative, it could start dragging the rest of the market down with it. And the transports they did sell off earlier on. They're coming back again right now, which is good. But some of the other stocks are coming off their highs, like Microsoft. By the way, we took a shot at IBM near the lows recently, and that's just on the basis that it was remember we talked about the dogs of the Dow, IBM and GE. We went for IBM and GE, and both of them are up pretty sharply in the new year. Also, Intel has been knocked down in the last few days because of the supposed flaw in the chips that they're.
I read about that this morning, but supposedly it takes a very specific set of conditions for someone to be able to take advantage of that exploit. I don't know all the technical details, but they've known about it for a year. Isn't that
it's
right?
kind of inexcusable sort of that
Absolutely.
this is still going on.
Absolutely, that they have not notified people. And this affects literally everyone who has a computer, a laptop, a tablet, a smartphone. You're probably only safe if you still have a computer.
If you've got a VPN, it can get your. I think it'll probably protect you from that.
Oh, speaking of VPNs, our very first advertiser on CryptoDailyInfo.com is actually a VPN service. Now, can you explain to the folks the benefits and why some people would use a virtual private network?
Supposedly, I've got one called Freedom, and I can give you an idea. Hang on a second. It protects against. It's tracked 92,000 attempts at some whatever it is.
Okay, so you're saying that a VPN affords some kind of protection, like a malware or antivirus? Because my understanding of the VPN was that, okay, I first experienced this problem when my wife and I, a number of years ago, before Michael started working me so hard like a dog, we went to Paris. And from Paris, I was trying to log into some websites here in the U.S., and I was down at the front desk complaining that the hotel, the Hilton or whatever, had, shoddy Wi-Fi, and that part of their advertisement on the internet was that they had great Wi-Fi. And I was very upset. I finally realized that I could go to some sites and not other sites. So some sites don't allow you, or some countries don't allow you to go to certain sites, and some sites don't allow you if you're from other countries. And so what I was trying to do, as I recall, I was either trying to watch a movie on Netflix or I was trying to log into my home computer, but because I was in Paris, it wouldn't let me. But with a VPN, I could have made it look like I was in South Carolina, and I'd have been able to log right in. Isn't that the purpose of a VPN? So that your IP address appears to be from somewhere different? Because the company that's advertising with us is Vanish IPN. VPN, yeah. IP Vanish. It's a, yeah. Anyway, I'll be able to tell you guys more about it tomorrow. Are you still with us, John? No, we lost John. I had a sneaking suspicion. No, your mic went red. Hey, did you mute yourself or?
No, I didn't. No, I don't know what. You must have muted me.
Well, no, because the controls for that are on a different computer. I just looked over there, and all of a sudden your mic had gone red. So I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. So, well, it's been quite a very interesting day today for a lot of reasons. Look, the gold is just acting fantastic. Yesterday, right after we talked, there was a kind of a brief sell-off, rapid. You remember I said we might go down and test the 1300? We got down to 1309 in a very hurried sell-off. This, I believe, was provoked by the minutes of the Fed coming out and saying that they might accelerate their rate increases, which is exactly what we were talking about earlier on the show yesterday.
Yeah, that's not the right thing to do.
Well, it caused a brief sell-off in the gold, but it's actually bullish for gold, and so what happened is we've got one of these booster buys where we had a sharp sell-off, and now look at where we are. We're 1321, and we're 969 on the platinum, on our way to 1,000. The silver is starting to accelerate higher, and as I said yesterday, could be looking at a 50 cent pop here. You know, it looks like we're going to break. This pullback has enabled the gold to get the power to break up above the that trend line that you showed yesterday. And I really believe we're going to have a very rapid move up to 1360, possibly even 1400, very, very fast, possibly even in a matter of days or even a day. It could be a real eye-opener, and it feels like it's coming. And, you know, the shorts, these guys, as we said yesterday, you know, we've come off an extreme sentiment bottom where a lot of these complacent shorts have been caught, and you know, I'm pretty sure this rally in the stock market that we've had in the last couple of months is from people shorting, who've gone short stocks too early, and probably thinking that it was the tax thing was a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing, and they've been completely blown away by that. Because, as we said almost a year, you know, when they first started talking about the tax, we said on the show about how in 1986, you know, announcing the tax actually caused the market to go on afterburners higher. In other words, it accelerated the upward momentum, and that's obviously what's going on right now, because look at the Dow.
Well, you know, look at this daily, John, that we drew this chart up yesterday, remember? We still haven't broke through that trend line yet.
No, but we've got a better chance of doing it now, because look at those.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, leg pullback, you know, and now another run at it. I agree.
Yeah, and look at your minus support, came right back to that previous peak. So, you know, everything's going according to plan. But it looks to me like, you know, I think we're going to gap through that line, possibly. You know,
could even be. Sometimes when a market can't get through a particular price, that's how it'll handle it. It'll gap above it or gap below it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the gold is acting fantastic. I mean, look at the liftoff. And remember, we said it on the show before this ever happened. I said this next move, when it starts, and I said I don't know whether it's going to start, you know, before the end of the year, or just in the new year like it did in 2016. Can you put the cursor on the low day? Was it the 12th?
Yeah,
on that reversal day.
Yes, I can. Might be. Can you explain your question, and I'll ask John. Now, where do you want me to put the cursor? Right here.
Just on that. What date was that? That was the 12th. That was
December
right?
the 12th, right?
Okay, that was the day before the Fed. So the market. Remember, we'd said on the show that it might even rally ahead of the Fed and into the Fed. The Fed announced there was a little bit of a retest. See that there? The next day, on the Fed news, and then we had this strong close. Now remember, last year the gold was down $40 on the Fed news on the 15th of December, and then that was the low for the foreseeable future. And here, the low was the day before the Fed. So how much more bullish is that? We didn't get the $40 spike. That was a sign of strength right there. And look how the gold has literally run away to the upside. And as I said, if you didn't get on board right away, it's going to leave you behind. And now is a point at which the gold seriously looks like it might accelerate to the upside from here. You know, it might, if it gaps higher, you're almost for sure going to get a gap and go with the gold. And you can almost see a run, you know, either a 1 or 2 day run right up to 1360. And it'll probably take out that 1360, 1370 area. That will put gold above the election high, and I'm potentially on track for a very rapid run to 1400.
Well, Fibonacci price extensions take it up. If we get 100% duplication of this leg right here,
yeah,
that will put us at 1391.
Yeah,
90.
yeah. I think we're going to get more than that because, you know, we're probably going to go into some sort of a third wave here. And, you know, it's probably going to take us up to 1440 at least. And, you know, if you take the measured move on gold. Oh, incidentally, can you squeeze that up to a monthly chart or weekly chart, maybe?
Let us see. Let's see what we can do. Would you rather have weekly or monthly?
Try weekly first.
Okay. Because it is a continuous chart, so we should be able to do.
Yeah, it may not, because it's continuous, it may not give the same impression as the.
Now that looks a little wonky, but that is the weekly.
Okay, can you squeeze it so no, keep it tight. Keep it yeah, get it with more. Okay, now if you can show those bottom bars. Okay.
Like down here.
Yeah. See, that's a head. Where you have the thing, that's a head, right?
Okay. Now are you talking about this is the head?
No, the bottom.
Okay.
The down at 1040.
Okay.
That's some sort of a head. Then we had this big rally up to 1360, and actually on the current chart it shows it going to 1400. Then you had this pullback here. And you've got this, I mean, look at the breakout above this neckline around the 1360, 1380 area. I mean, the measured move is monumental. It's. So
you're calling this the right shoulder?
No, this one, the further on, this one. There, you know, right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And
so your neckline, for those who maybe aren't familiar with this, because we don't do a lot of patterns in our training, or practically none. Is that your neckline?
No. Up at the top, 1370-ish.
That's the neckline?
No, up there. Yeah, right across the whole thing, all the way, right? Going back to 1413. You know, 2013, 14. There you go. So look at the breakout above this. I mean, it's going to be epic because you go from 1040 to 1360. That's about a $300 move. Is that right? And then add that on to the 1380, 1320 to 1380. Takes us to 1700.
Okay.
1700.
Let me go back to the daily for a second and try to put a little bit of this in perspective for folks. So what John is actually saying is that from where we are sitting right now, trying to break that trend line, that a measured move would take us to 1640?
No, it's actually 1700 straight. Exactly the number, 1700.
Okay. All right, 1700. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's got to put some spring in the step of anybody that owns gold and or gold stocks. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mike had a question. Oh, well. Okay. Mike originally asked. John's mic broke up for a second. Can he say why? And I said, why what? And he said, what is he looking for to think break above? On this goal, what does it need to break above?
Well, you know, it's probably a gap. I mean, it's just like a gap and go.
Okay.
And look, I think it's just going to go. It looks to me like it's just going to go straight up to about 1440. You know, it's going to be almost $100 move from here, pretty rapidly.
He says the head and shoulders looks better on a monthly. I don't know.
It does. It looks phenomenal on a monthly.
Okay, here's monthly.
It's the most classic.
Okay, head, shoulder.
Yeah, look at it. It's beautiful,
neckline.
beautiful.
Okay,
yeah.
now I see it. You know, I was going to Okay. Yeah, that's clear as day, or clear as mud, however they say that. And you see, guys, this lines up right over here with. No, there's not going. You know what? I gotta go back to the daily. I can't see
And you know,
anything.
4 year. This is a 4 year Head and Shoulders. I mean, this is an epic breakout right here.
All right. Well, that's good news.
It sure is. It sure
That is very good news. Speaking of news, was there any news out there today that we need to talk about?
Well, the prize of the day, you might say, is that Trump's Rasmussen poll rating is actually up, 40 back to 45.
Is it really?
It got to 46, down to 44, and back up to 45, in spite of all the drama that this ridiculous book is generating. And this, I mean, why did they let a guy like Michael Wolff into the White House? It's just insane. I mean, I don't understand Trump, you know, and he's cozying up to the New York Times, giving these people interviews, and they just, you know, they just rip him every time. I mean, it's just crazy. You should shut him down. I mean, you know, why give him the opportunity? And this guy, Wolf, I mean, you know, talk about you know, the name suits him. He's absolutely poison, this guy. He's bad news.
Talking about
Very
Wolf
bad news.
Blitzer?
No, Wolf, Michael Wolff, the guy who wrote this book.
Oh, what's the name of the book?
Fire and Fury, I think.
Oh, yeah, I'm not even familiar with it. Peter Thiel is
this is what all the scandal-
reportedly working with the Mercer family to launch a conservative cable network. Thiel had been working on the project with Fox News founder Roger Ailes before Ailes passed away back in May.
Yeah.
What would that look like, a conservative cable network?
Apparently
Apparently not just
CNN.
news.
Better than CNN, that's for sure. So we can. In fact, the best thing that ever happened to CNN is for Rupert Murdoch to buy him out, like with all the money he just made off Disney, and turn the network into a respectable cable channel.
China
and
is
fire all those morons they keep dragging on every day. When you look at all the has-beens they keep dragging on, you know, all these old people from the Obama, and they're so boring. They got nothing to say. They just the same old nonsense about North Korea. And look at what Trump's accomplished so far. And I mean, you know, there's everything before 2017, and which was basically boring and bad deals and money, billions of dollars wasted all over the map. And then Trump comes in and has absolutely turned this economy around overnight. And look at you couldn't get, I mean, the biggest poll in the world says it's 25,000. There's nothing better than that. It is absolutely astonishing what has happened. And you cannot rule out, certainly, if 87 is anything to go by, you know, the first half of 87, and we emulate anything like that, we'll be up and getting up towards 3,000 before the end of the year.
what happened to Meghan McCain, John? She was a fixture on Fox News.
She's on The View. She's on The View now.
Oh, okay. Now, my wife tried to look this up on the internet because on Hannity, I think last night, they did a cutaway to The View, and there was Meghan McCain. And my wife she looked freaked out because, you know, she likes Meghan. And she asked her phone, she asked Google, she said, is Meghan McCain on The View now? And she could never she walked away with the impression that she was just there as the guest conservative of the day. But you're saying she is actually on The View every day now?
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Did she have a falling out with Fox, or did The View just make her a better deal?
I don't know. You know, there's other gal who's on CNN who's really quite a good-looking gal. She's I forget her name now, but she was
the
on Fox
one.
for years.
She's an attorney, and she used to have that morning show with Bill Hemmer before the markets actually opened.
No, this one's always been a contributor, but she's on CNN now, and she's kind of turned dog on the Republicans.
Well, the one I'm talking about, she's an attorney, and when she was on Fox, she was really likable. Then she got pregnant. She went on maternity leave, and when her maternity leave was up, it was announced that she had her own show now on, I forget where, but she's not a likable. She used to be so, I enjoyed her so much, and now she's turned. I don't know.
Yeah,
what happened to her.
yeah.
China
a lot of them.
China's spending $2 billion to build an artificial intelligence park as it looks to become a world leader in the field. The park will reportedly be able to accommodate 400 companies, and they're expected to generate $5.6 billion each year. Now, this artificial intelligence, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and some others have formed a group, and they're worried about the robots taking over. And these are a couple of the smartest guys in the room. I don't care what room you're in. They're literally worried about the robots becoming self-aware, and we could have trouble. Now, Elon is quite a visionary, and Bezos, he's a pretty smart cookie too. I don't agree with his politics or his moral values, but when it comes to business, I have much respect for him. What do you think? Does this concern you at all?
I think it's all overhyped. Honestly,
Is
I think
it
we're a long
a digital
way from those
version
days.
of global warming? You think?
I don't think so. I think it's kind of, we're way ahead of our time on that score. Yeah,
Right.
I think it might, down the road it could happen, but I think it's a little bit early.
Now,
you know.
here's a mind blower. Years ago, my good friend Don, who sadly passed away in a prime of life, guys, get your prostate checked. Okay, this ain't no joke. This took my friend, but anyway, him and his business partner had the license to provide wireless internet to the country of India. This was way back in like 1997, 98. And I'm like, who in God's name in India could ever afford, a computer to get on the internet? This is before we got on the internet really with our phones and stuff. And Don was literally a rocket scientist. He programmed satellites and did all kinds of things, and he was going to put the satellite in the air that would make this whole thing possible. Don passed away. I think Chuck sold the contract. He already had millions, so he didn't care. He treated Don like a dog. But anyway, food delivery service Deliveroo is reportedly planning to launch in India. It's hiring a new team and a country head in India. Now, does India strike you as the type of place where a food delivery service goes over big? I mean...
Yeah, there's a lot of food delivery in India.
Really?
And yeah, it's kind of a way of life, and to bring in a brand could be an interesting development. And the thing is, further to your comments about who'd have ever thought that India is the most sort of internet savvy.
You're right.
The country in the country in the world that, according to a poll, can, more than any other country, cannot do without the internet. That's like about 85% above everybody else. They're the most internet kind of enlaced country on the planet.
I can't think of the name of it, but on Netflix there is a show. My wife likes it, about she loves police shows and crime shows and whatnot. But it's a fictional story about a police detective in India. And he's got this kind of weird sense of humor and whatnot, and they speak English. There's no subtitles on the show. If anyone in the chat room knows the name of that show, I'm not crazy about it, but my wife really likes it. Let's see. Joan says, Bezos owns many AI companies, big elite operator, no good intentions. Well, Joan, he does own them, and he believes in the technology. He's just concerned that, they become self-aware. Frederick says, Macon is the token conservative on The View, but she is not strong enough to stand up to Whoopi and Joy and all the other liberals on the show. We need a much stronger person.
Yeah. She's not the, she's because she's kind of a bit lefty anyway. She's really kind of goes with them a lot. So she's not like the previous conservatives on The View. That
Bob says it's called The Indian Detective. That's the name of the show. In India, according to Williamson, only 22% of Indians have access to internet. Wow. Now, Williamson, where did you grab that stat from? Or do you possibly live there? Or have family there or anything? He got that stat from CNN.com. Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Proliferation, you know, and a lot of times it depends upon how you look at something and who you ask, you know. It really does. Williamson, see if you can find any other, if you would please, any other stats to go along with that about internet usage in India. Because if John says that they are so dependent upon it, I think we got to go beneath the surface and dig a little bit.
A friend of mine who's very clued in technically, he's telling me that the government, probably one of the reasons why these tech stocks, especially Cisco, is going through the roof, is because the government has given them about 400 billion to create a new internet. Do you know about that?
No.
Yeah. I forget the name of it, but it's got a very fancy name, like you know, the fiber net or something like that, I think it's called. So
now would my websites automatically be available on this new internet?
Yeah, it'll be the new superhighway kind of thing. You know,
the info superhighway. My goodness,
yeah, right.
I haven't heard that since 1998 when my mailbox was full of AOL discs. Because that was the only place there was on the internet. That and Yahoo. My God, Yahoo once traded at over $400 a share. I never bought any. I bought Network Solutions at 75 and offed it at 4. That's probably the only stunning trade I made out of that whole .com thing. And all you had to do was throw an arrow. I mean, Jiminy Crickets. Unfortunately, my physical stockbroker here in Phoenix, boy, he led me down a few rabbit holes. You know who I'm talking about. Urban India, however, has 60% connectivity, which is relatively high. Okay, thank you for that, Williamson. Did you hear that, John? Only 22% of Indians have access to the internet. However, urban India has 60% connectivity. Oh, and I sat up in the middle of the night, straight up in bed, and I'm like, why didn't we already figure this out? People are wondering why Twitter suddenly went from 140 to 200 and what did they go to 280 characters? For Trump. They did it for Trump so that he can really rant. That's my thought. I don't know how he got him to do it, but think about it. I mean, who is the spokesmodel for Twitter right now? It's not the founder. What's his name? It's Donald Trump.
Yeah, sure. And look at you know, that's one of our good trades that we put on last year around 16. Remember I mentioned that on the show? We actually said it on the show. Buy it around 16, and I think again at 18. Right before it took off, and it just hit 25 yesterday. Last week it hit 25. It's come off a bit. So
I remember ranting on that
so
thing
far,
when it first came out that, boy, this is ridiculous. Who in the world's ever going to use something like this? What's the purpose? What's the point? I just went on and on and on.
No, it's a big deal.
Oh, it is a big deal. I know. Yeah, you got that one wrong.
The Nasdaq just broke to a new low. It's bordering on going negative soon, and
look at these soybeans. Boy.
Yeah, we caught the low on that this morning.
Was there some kind of agricultural report today?
No, I don't think so. But
hey guys, when these people out there that sell you all these little tricks and whatnot for, you know, trading, and you know they got all these principles and blah blah blah. I want to just throw up sometimes, and they'll tell you that support and resistance is dead, that it's no longer an effective way to trade. Well, look at this. Look, come on. How hard is that to spot? Doji, Wang.
Yep.
Doji, bang. I mean,
Yeah, the
trading's
beans,
not
the beans back
easy,
here
but it can be
they're
simple.
definitely a buy here. We put a buy in at 961 this morning, and it kind of sold off, and it looked like it was going to turn, so we went for it. And you know what I also said is that the wheat. Look at the wheat. The wheat didn't make a lower low today, so the wheat's actually been quite strong. And the corn is, you know, struggling, but it's kind of didn't go to a new low either. So, and the cotton is also very strong. We remember we've mentioned cotton a number of times since the 60s, and it's almost at 80 now. So it's been a very good run. And the lumber is literally five points from an all-time record high, pretty much. Kind of looks like it's going to crack it here in the near future. And by the way, look at the palladium. Palladium hit 1100 this morning, 1101.
1101.
And we sold. Yeah, we put a sell on that at 1100, and it's back to 1093 right now. So we got a buy stop just above the market, because I don't think it's through going up yet. What else?
And the ES last night, we said to buy 27.17. Now, John, I don't know if you were tuned in early on at the show, but we are trading above our highest weekly trading zone, which is fairly unusual. But based on historical observance, by close of business tomorrow, this thing should be at 27.15 or below. Doesn't mean it will be. There have been a few times over the last 8 years where it didn't happen, but watch for anything that could ignite a sell-off and take us to 27.15 or below by close of business tomorrow, Friday, the 5th day of January.
Yeah, you know, I totally agree with you. And by the way, this is the third day of the week or the new month, where the market is up sharply. Very, very bullish for the new year, for this year. You know, I think we struggled. Oh no, yeah, in spite of the big liftoff last year, we kind of struggled in the first few days of the year last year. I think we kind of basically had a kind of an upward 4 or 5 days, but it wasn't anything like this. This is one of the strongest New Year openings ever. It might even be giving 87 a run for its money right now. I think may even be exceeding 87. It's pretty, you know, it's the fact that we started out strong and we're actually accelerating higher is really, really, really pretty bullish. And it kind of looks like we can, you know, if we can eke out another couple of days here in the green. Really, it relates to the Dow. It doesn't really relate to anything else, but everything else helps. But if we can remain green for tomorrow, and which is, you know, I mean, look, we're up 3 days on the week. I'd be surprised if the fourth, you know, if the Friday doesn't confirm it.
Yeah,
and
I'm
then we have the jobs coming out. We have the jobs coming out tomorrow as well. So, and I think the jobs number was good today too. So the jobs isn't necessarily and there might be a bit of a negative surprise on the jobs because of Christmas and everything, and also because of the weather, the growth might be a little bit cramped. You know, going into January, we might, you know, in the last few years, the first quarter has almost always been pretty dismal. So that could be a problem for the market later in the month. As could, if there's any blow-ups, you know, if there's any if there's any kind of price line type deals where the market disappoints. And remember, you know, the market might be saying, you know, usually when you get this frothy, if you like, and this high, the market may, you know, what you got to be careful of is if the market starts selling off on good news, you know, if they made an announcement, great numbers, and the market starts selling off, that could be the death knell of the market, you know, in the short term, because of, you know, this is what happened in 2000. So you have to be ready for that possibility, given that we're this high. And if any major stock gets cut in half, major widely held stock, that usually scares the fund managers and takes the speculative zeal out of the market. And then we're still we've, to a lesser degree, some of the mania that was around in December on some of these stocks every day that were getting run up has kind of dissipated. It's a little bit more subdued today, but there's still 2 or 3 stocks that are 3 or 4 that are up between 200 and 400% today. So it's still it's still going on, but not with the same kind of there was some things like GBTC and Riot and some of these other Bitcoin stocks were going bananas there back in December, and they're actually up today, but I think their days are numbered, honestly. Some of these Bitcoin stocks.
The SEC is all over that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
They're really trying to track down these people that are just like adding, blockchain to their company name or something,
exactly.
And companies are doing press releases like, we're now employing the blockchain technology, and all they're using it for is to do payroll or something. I mean, it doesn't have a material effect on the company, but it's classic pump and dump. So be careful, guys.
Yeah, sure.
Make sure you if you're going to buy stock, make sure you buy stock in a real company. So
yeah. Well, I would say right now we're within a few days of a pullback here on this market.
I know tomorrow would upset the apple cart a little bit, but again, based on 8 years of historical observance, and I've seen it come from out of nowhere. I have sat here at my desk on a Friday afternoon, and price would be so far above the highest weekly trading zone, I'm like, okay, I guess this week it ain't going to happen. And literally 10 minutes from the close, it would just fall like a rock and get right below that top zone. And I'm like, man, I don't know what I stumbled into. I don't really understand fully what I discovered, but it has stood the test of time. 8 years now, since December 14th of 2009. So
say that again.
Since we first published the weekly trading zones, December 14th of 2009, we've published them every week since. And there have been Friday afternoons when I would be sitting here watching the market going into the close, and we would have a situation like we have in the S&P today where we're trading above the highest weekly zone, and there'd be like 10 minutes left, and I'd say to myself, well, Dwayne, this week it didn't play out. And then with 10 minutes to go, this thing would just go whoosh and get right below the zone, bell would ring, and I just sit here with my jaw hanging down and going like, man, whatever you stumble into is really powerful. So just keep your head down, your shoulder to the wheel, and just keep doing what you're doing. So
yeah, look at last Friday. That was a pretty
yes.
Last Friday, just actually we put out an alert saying we kind of bought the dip on last Friday ahead of the new year, because I kind of said the new year is probably going to open up, which it did, and I never looked back since. So until today, today is a day where we
By the way, guys, my buddy in the Ukraine who is helping me with a couple things here on the internet, he's a very, very clever man, and he's so polite. I really like this young fellow. If there are any features that you would like to see built into freecharts.com, which I know right now is freecharts.net, he's got to fix that too, but if there's any specific features you'd like to see there while we're in the construction stage or the fixing stage, share it with us, and we'll see if it's possible. Our next project, which is just waiting for, I've got a long list of stuff for him to do, and then we start building out CryptoWorldRadio.com. Now don't forget, CryptoWorld.com sold for $189,000. Just the name. There wasn't even a website. CryptoWorld.com. So I stuck radio on the end and got it for $8. So But we're going to aggregate all cryptocurrency podcasts from around the world on one site. So it's pretty exciting, and I'd like to put that at the top of his list, but there's just other stuff that's got to be fixed first. So I was going to go to the economic calendar and see what tomorrow's news looked like. Let me do that. Tomorrow, okay. All right. The first high impact news comes out of Europe. They're going to do CPI at 5 a.m. Eastern. That can move the markets. That can move the S&P. The next high impact news event is here in the U.S. We get non-farm payrolls at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And then the next high impact is also at 8:30 Eastern, 8:30 a.m., the unemployment rate. So the non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate tomorrow morning, those both could rock the market. And then at 10 o'clock, another high impact, ISM non-manufacturing PMI. And then at 10 a.m. Eastern, Canada has a high impact IV PMI. And that's it. Now, for those of you who are wondering what economic calendar I'm using, I use the one at investing.com because it doesn't just do economic reports in the U.S. It does them worldwide. And if you're trading the Globex session and China's coming out with a big report at midnight, you need to know about that, okay? If Russia's coming out with a big news event at 2 a.m. in the morning, or Japan, you need to know about that. So, go ahead, John.
So, well, look, I think we kind of covered a lot today. So,
did. And here's a question from Williamson. I know I asked you this yesterday, but do you think the New Year rally is due to the tax plan that was passed recently?
Absolutely, absolutely. It is just the ongoing momentum from it, and I would say that actually, apparently Bernie Sanders, who's kind of, pain in the neck most of the time, he came out with a thing.
He is such a character. I'm unbelievable.
But he he actually came out with something positive, which is why I'm mentioning him. He was saying that they should have made the tax cuts permanent for the middle class, like they made the corporate permanent, they didn't make the other ones. And the Democrats were saying, if they'd done it the other way around and made the corporate temporary and the other ones tax, they all would have voted for it. So there's a high likelihood that they may actually make the tax cuts permanent for everybody going forward, and that would be that could help drive the market even higher. And then you've got the stimulus. The stimulus is the next big thing on the agenda.
Yeah.
Plus, what if they may start reporting bringing funds back to the U.S. and paying taxes on those funds. The first piece of that
infrastructure package should be, John? They need to get broadband to rural America, because a lot of the new jobs coming online are going to be online type jobs, if you follow what I'm saying. And all these people in rural America and the Appalachians and all that kind of thing, they won't be able to participate. So the first thing that should be on the top of the list for Trump is to, in the infrastructure package, internet first, everything comes after that. And while he's up doing stuff, I wish he would fire this Jeff Sessions. Do you like this guy?
Oh, look, he's the biggest disappointment of the whole Trump. I mean, Trump, unfortunately, has made some really monumental mistakes, including bringing all these people in the first round, who got fired because between Bannon and Priebus and all these other fellows, they're all leaking. These are the people who were leaking stuff. I mean, they had no loyalty, and Trump's a very loyalty-orientated guy. And all these people are stabbing him in the back every which way. It's just horrible. And as I said on the show months ago, picking, by putting Sessions in instead of Giuliani, I think the world would be a very different place today if Giuliani had been the AG.
Sessions just announced this morning that he's going after marijuana. Now, come on. Back when you could get 20 years for having a joint in your pocket, okay, which is a pretty harmless thing compared to some of the stuff that's out there. And hemp has been used around the world since it's one of the oldest plants on planet Earth. And it wasn't until, what was the guy's name? Was it Henry Anslinger that was trying to make a name for himself and got pot outlawed, marijuana outlawed in the U.S.? And they put it right up there with heroin and all the other stuff. And I'm not trying to be an old hippie pothead, although I am, but I'm not trying to be. I just, you know, these states, like Colorado, that have made it legal, I mean, they're taking this out of the shadows, out of the shadow economy, off the black market, and they're actually, people go to smoke it either way, you know. Why make people be criminals? You know, I don't think anybody ever broke into somebody's house and stole their TV so they could go buy a joint. I don't think so. But,
right.
You know, and these tax revenues, I mean, California is set to make, God, I forget how many billions of dollars in the coming year, because they have now, they've actually gone the full Monty and done recreational. Arizona, it's still just medical, but it's kind of, the medical thing's kind of a joke in that you just have to go see a doctor and he has to write a thing. Oh, my back hurts. Oh, okay. I can't sleep at night. Oh, okay. My head hurts. Oh, okay. And they write you a thing, and then it takes about 30 days to go through the state system, and then they mail you your card. And then once you have your card, you can go into a dispensary, and there's a cornucopia of all kind of strains. Oh, this one's for headaches. This is for back. You know, this is for your bowels. I mean, good Lord, it goes on and on. And if no one's seen that that television program Disjointed, it's pretty funny. It got panned by the critics, but I think it's pretty funny. So it is the wave of the future, and right now, just in the current condition with the states that have already legalized for medical or recreational, it's going to create 100,000 jobs this year.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Just California's recreational law passing is going to create 100,000 jobs in California. Yeah. And the article went on to say, not only, now those are the 100,000 that will be like either growing the stuff or selling the stuff in a store, but it says you got to think about all the other places that will benefit. Because when you smoke weed, you get the munchies. So the Dairy Queen down the street from the dispensary, you know, they're going to sell a whole lot of milkshakes and hot fudge cakes because you got all these stoners walking around that are really, really hungry. They got the munchies, and you need something to drink, and all these other, you know, Jeff Sessions, where's he from? What state's he from?
He's from Alabama. The problem is, no, look, it was a monumental mistake of Trump to put his seat at risk by appointing him the Attorney General. That should never have happened. And, you know, I mean, look, the margins are so slim, and in one vote, McCain's vote torpedoed the, you know, the healthcare bill. I mean, it just shows you not that the seat would have made any difference, but the fact that the so tight, and prior to the tax cut being totally approved, you just can't risk anything, and they should be doing everything in their power to be winning 2018, including, as I've said on the show, they should be, you know, appealing to the wider audience, and they should be appealing to the blacks and the Hispanics in a very big way. And I think, look, I'm pretty sure Trump is going to solve this DACA issue even this year, one way or another, and that's probably going to win him quite a few votes, more votes before the end of the year. And but he needs to, and as is on, you know, record unemployment, low unemployment for blacks and Hispanics, that's obviously going to help as well. But, you know, he should be announcing stimulus plans for black neighborhoods and depressed neighborhoods in the cities and Hispanic neighborhoods. You know, he should be really focusing on these areas, and he should be going out and meeting people and, you know, talking to them, because he has a way of charming people, and he gives very good speeches. So he should be addressing those areas and getting these people on side, and that's not happening, which is troubling, because the absolute goal has to be to, I mean, if the biggest power the Democrats have is the 80% Hispanic and black vote, without that, they're out of business. And if you can go after that and reduce their majority in that area, then you own the whole country. And it seems to me that it's unfortunate, but they get a bit giddy when they have a landslide victory like Trump got. They tend to relax and not get on with the job and go all the way. That's what they should be doing right now. I mean, look, they've made some great strides. Nobody's disputing that, especially with the tax bill, but they shouldn't. They should be focused like a laser beam on absolutely defending the 2018 and increasing their majority in 2018 with a view to another landslide, a real landslide in 2020. That's what they should be focused on right now.
John, in your technical analysis, when you use Fibonacci, and I know you're not a huge Fibonacci guy, and thank God I didn't get soured on Fibonacci by my original co-host of quite a few years ago. That guy was such a character. Anyway, Mike has a question for me. He says, Dwayne, how come on your price extensions, why don't you use the 78%? I just never have. Do you use fib extensions at all in your technical work?
I don't finesse it to that degree. I mean, most of the stuff I do is I eyeball it. I'm not really a kind of a math type guy. Mm-hmm. So, but I have a different approach to the market, and okay. I try to go with an evolving momentum all the time. Try to get on the next trend as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I heard of a thing called, I think it was MODAR, Momentum Radar.
And you invented that.
We did it together. Yeah, it was good. Good times.
Oh,
well, just as I don't use the 78 for the extension, I don't use it for the retracement either. I just never found it to be materially significant. What I tend to find is if that 62% retracement breaks, it's going all the way back. I know sometimes the 78 catches it, and on this chart I would be watching this whole area here because it's been proven that buyers will step in at that price. Okay, now unless those people have gone on vacation, when price gets back down here, they're going to buy it again. Good Lord, look at how much money they made. They're going to take another stab at it. So it's just a personal preference. There's no real scientific reason why I don't use that fib on the retracements or the extensions. Just personal preference, that's all. I hope that helps. Jones says, perfect way for Sessions to get out of D.C. with the pot issue. Must be compromised. Been a senator up there for years. Brian says Rudy Giuliani would have been the best. Agreeing with you. Let's see. Okay, well, I know you got to run, John, so don't let me hold you.
Okay, well, listen, thanks for the invite, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks very much.
John, thank you so much for everything. Have a great afternoon. Talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, all the best. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Oh, Wayne sent us people sent me a couple of articles on artificial intelligence, so let me put them in the chat box for the benefit of everybody, because I won't have time to go there today myself. Let me get John's mic for him. There we go. So he's safe. Okay. So there's one of the articles, and then someone else put in another one earlier. Let me find that. Joan did, yes. It is an interview, I believe, with Elon Musk, or an article he wrote, one or the other. Elon Musk, one AI company that worries me. Okay. Send to all. Did anybody not get that link? Okay, hope you all got it. All right. Does John have a website where we can tap into more of his advice? Gary, unfortunately, he does not. He doesn't even have an official newsletter. We may change that in the future, but I've known him for a very long time, since the late 90s, and he works with a very select group of individuals around the world, and he's just not a in-your-face web kind of guy. But I may bring him onto the CFRN platform, have him do a column. I'd love for him to do a daily column, but I don't know that he has time. But if he could at least do a couple a week or even one a week, that would be good. So you're welcome. Yeah, I get that question all the time. Hey, who is that guy? What's his website? Doesn't have one. One of the smartest guys I know, and he doesn't have a website. By choice, not because he couldn't have one if he wanted one. He just chooses not to. We did do a thing years ago called MODAR, which is Momentum Radar, and we updated people literally 24/7 on trades. So that's why when he says, I did this, we did that, I don't doubt it, because I used to be right there. Well, we're in different parts of the world, but we had like this little walkie-talkie thing. I'm trying to think of the name of the company. It was Boost Mobile. Up there with their cell phones, they had this little handset that was like a walkie-talkie. And I would have mine on my desk, he would have his on his desk. And rather than have to call somebody up or wait for him to see the text or wait for him to read the email, I just go, yeah, Breaker John, take a look at the S&P right now or something. And then he would just say, okay, and boom. And people would stick their head over my cubicle and go, what are you doing? You got a police radio back here or something? Nah, just doing business. Other than using Fibonacci, Williamson asks, to make zones. Well, I don't use Fibonacci to make the zones. I mean, if you're referring to the weekly trading zones, Fibonacci plays no role in that whatsoever. Now, once I have established the zones, then I come in and I do use Fibonacci on top of the zones, okay? So in other words, if I see that price is pulling back and I have a weekly trading zone at the 50% fib retracement, then I'm pretty sure that it's going to hold long enough for a short rally at the minimum, which should equate to, a couple points for the day out of the S&P or 20 points out of the Dow, whatever it is you need to reach your goal for the day. Now, with the Dow, let's see, I didn't correct those numbers. 24, 875, 80, yeah, I did yesterday. Okay, so the next on deck for the weekly, oh, come on, all my charts want to freeze. Okay, the next weekly zone after 24,880 was 25,000. /05. Okay. Oh, I guess I blew that. All right, let's try that again. Oh, I know what I did. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. And then above that, the highest weekly trading zone on the Dow for the week is 25,095. 25,095. And we didn't quite make it on that last push. 29, let's see, 2,100. Yeah. And getting this right, yeah. 25,095. Okay, so last night, as you can see, when I put this in, I was, targeting the zone overhead, but it almost made it to the highest weekly zone. Now, we're above the highest weekly zone on the S&P, but on the Dow, we might have another leg up to go. Okay. All right. On soybeans, real quick, we said to consider selling 967 in the email last night. $350 per contract available. We never get out at the swing high or swing low. Why? Because you trail our stop. And if you trail your stop, you're always going to leave a little something on the table. In Q, we said to consider buying 66.10. It gave up 7.5 points maximum at $20 per point per contract. On the Russell, we said to consider buying 15.59 and $250 per contract available. And on the flip side, we did not trigger. That would have been way down at 15.51. The Dow we just discussed. Oh, on bonds, we said consider selling 152.03. Now that's 31.25 per tick. Okay. So this move here would have been 30. This would be if you just stayed into here. Let's do that. 21. It's going to be 11. 14 times 31.25 per tick. If you caught this move right here. I don't recommend trading bonds, but some people love them, so that's why I give you the numbers. Gold, we said to consider buying 13.18. Now this first move, this spastic kind of move here, that would have been a stop out. Now, I'm just gonna figure. But there was also $300 per contract available on the move to 22. Okay, but again, we don't get out of the swing high or swing low because we trail or stop. Crude oil. Last night, no, that wasn't last night. Let me look at last night. By 62.10. Okay. You're never going to knock them all out of the park. Might as well accept that right now. 62.10, and we put in a high at 21. That's $110 per contract available. And then if you took a second bite, you're either still in it or you got stopped out. Okay. Now, is crude going to go higher this week? It just might, because the next weekly zone overhead is 62.70/75. Below that, 61.20/25, which we ripped right through. And below that was 60.45/50. So can crude push to 62.75 tomorrow? If this turbulence in Iran continues, then absolutely. Now that's a fundamental reason, and we are technical traders. So when I talk about fundamental stuff, don't pay too much attention to it, because what I know is technicals. Fundamentals, you're not. There was once upon a time when good news came out, the market rallied, and when bad news came out, the market tanked. Not anymore. No. So you're not trading the news, you're trading people's reaction to the news. That's something to think about. And I talk a lot about that in some of the really long radio shows. We did some 3- and 4-hour shows back a couple years ago. I did a lot of them, actually. You can find them at emini.cfrn.net. You can also find them at youtube.com/CFRN. Okay. What have we not covered? We covered the beans, the NQ, the Russell, the Dow, the bonds, the gold, the crude, and the ES. And for anybody that didn't get a chance to take a screenshot, shoot them up, cowboy. Now, some of you are probably going, man, that's crazy. How can I get in on that? Well, I'm going to show you. Type into your computer emini.cfrn.net. Hit enter. And when you get here, look for the old baseball guy. Okay, right above him. To go straight to the $1 for 5 days trial, click here. No automatic rollover. Includes access to the live training room and the use of indicator. You get a lot for $1. I mean, you really do. Now, at the end of the 5 days, you don't automatically roll into a paid subscription. At the end of 5 days, you just stop getting the alerts. And you go about 2 days without them alerts, and you're like, ugh, I better call them and see if I can't make some kind of deal. So you take the trial, then you call us, and you can get a deal, whatever the current deal is. Let's see. Brian says, yesterday there was an ES zone at 2718/19. Right, Brian. And it also said last week's zones. I just, every Thursday, what I do, see, the CFRN partners on Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, before Wall Street wakes up, the partners get the weekly trading zones. Ah, he says, now I got it. And I don't reveal them to the community at large until Thursday. So, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, I'm always showing last week's zones, and then on Thursday, I do my best to get them rolled forward to this week's so that everybody can see, you know, what they missed. All right. I'm glad you asked that. Okay, because somebody else is probably thinking it too. Yeah, where'd that go from yesterday? You know, what's going on? No, that's the deal. Okay, guys, if nobody else has a question, you know, the union's really funny about this. I'm over time now. The guy's shaking his finger at me and his clipboard. You're welcome, Brian. Mike, heads up, natural gas daily 50% retrace with structural report. Okay. Anybody out there that's into natural gas? I've never traded it. I never really tracked it. I mean, I can bring it up and chart it, but oh, really? Can you now? Well, yeah. I mean, it's not a big deal. The chart's a chart. It's a chart. I know people are going to try to tell you, oh, dude, you know, different markets got different personalities, and you got to trade them differently. Blah, blah, blah. As long as it's an auction-style market, buyers on the bid and sellers on the ask, and price pinging back and forth, I don't care if it's crude or the S&P or the Dow or Russell. People. And some of you know the one people I'm speaking about. What month are we in, Mike? What are you looking at, G or H? Again, I don't track natural gas. Is it going to let me have another tab, or is it going to tell me I'm over the limit? One tab over the line. Mr. Reeves, yep. So I would have to sacrifice something. Close. Do you want to make it a template? No. We'll sacrifice this. We don't use it very much. Just for the moment anyway. Okay, gonna get rid of those. GN GG 8. Okay. Bearish cross, expect lower prices. Bullish cross, expect higher prices. Bearish cross, expect lower prices. Bullish cross, sometimes you don't always get what you want. Now, your comment was on the daily. All right, let's go to the daily. Funny. Okie doke. Okay, this is a daily chart, guys. Bearish cross, price pulls away. Price pulls back to physically touch the BBC. Down close, sell the open of the next candle, -1 tick. That's our whole trading methodology. That's it, in a nutshell. Boom. If you learn to spot this, and you know where to enter, you could participate in this. Well, wait a minute. You guys use a range chart in the training room. That's right. But the markets are fractal in nature. So what happens on a 4-tick range chart happens on a 1 minute, a 5 minute, an hourly, and a daily, and a weekly, and a monthly. If I took away these numbers and these dates, you couldn't tell me if this was a 1 minute chart, or a daily chart, or a weekly chart. Because they all look the same. And they all behave the same. So what we're waiting for here is the bullish cross, which is transpiring. Now we need price to pull away and pull back. And you're like, well, wait a minute, it already pulled away. Yeah, but it pulled away before the cross. See, it's very important that it has to pull away after the cross. Then pull back. Then a down close. And then a sell. This could be a buy. It could roll over and become a sell. Now, heads up, natural gas, daily 50% retracement with structural support. I'm guessing you're talking about reverse fibs, maybe? Oh no, I see what you're talking about. Okay, so with reverse fibs, from the most recent swing high on my chart to the most recent swing low, we've rallied into the 62% reverse fib. And what happened? We printed doji at the 62. Now, for, a fib guy, a guy that reads candles, you just go short. I mean, you hit the 62, you print a doji on the daily, you just go short. And you sell it back to the BBC. Now, what Mike was actually talking about wasn't that. He was actually talking about this. From this low to this high, and you see the tail of that candle right there? It almost touched the 50% retracement. I could redraw it and make it touch, but I won't. I want you to see it. Now I'll throw one more thing on there. We'll go from this low to that high, to that low, and if we do start to move higher, there are some price targets. Okay? Now, one last thing. If you move from a 4-tick range chart to some other chart, like a 5-minute or 30-minute or daily or whatever, you're going to have to increase your stop loss. We use the 4-tick range chart, which is not a 4-tick chart, the 4-tick range chart, because it allows us to risk only 8 ticks on every single trade. If you increase the time frame to 30 minutes, hour, daily, whatever, then proportionally you have to increase your risk. Okay, like here. Okay, bearish cross, price pulled away, price pulled back, down close, sell the open of the next candle, -1 tick. All right. Now, oh, it actually opened down here. So with the -1 tick, it would have been the following day that you got triggered in. Okay, and that's fine because you don't have any drawdown. But the question is where does your stop have to be? Oh, right about there. Why? Because that's the most recent swing high. If that high gets taken out, chances are you're on the wrong side of the trade, and this thing is starting to put in some legs to the upside. Okay? Okay. Enough of that. You guys know how to trade. But if you don't know how to trade, then you really need to become a partner, which means you really need to take the trial. If you haven't taken the trial, go take it. Apply.cfrn.net. And if you've already taken the trial and you know this is where you need to be, partners meeting tonight. Email us support@cfrn.net. Call us 949-42-EMINI. That's 949-423-6464. But all the cool kids just say 949-42-EMINI. All right? And a final comment from the audience, too. Any suggestions for crypto pennies advisor to listen to? Would that be you guys? Well, at $1, we're not really penny guys, but yeah, then we are, because some brokers consider any stock under $5 to be penny stock. Joan, it's a great question. You just have to be so careful. Just as in the world of penny stocks, in the world of penny cryptos, oh my goodness, you got to be careful. I'll see if I can't find an expert in that space and maybe invite him for an interview. Okay? And Gary's final comment for the day here: I have learned much from the CFRN indicators and methodology, but especially what you and Michael have taught about market structure. For me, that has been key. Well, Gary P., thank you so much for saying that. Now see what Gary said? You guys can have that too. Call us, email us. Michael should have sent you an email telling you what it takes to become a partner if you're on the trial. If you didn't get that, dog ate it, whatever, let us know. We'll get you out another letter today, and then you'll have time to take action before the doors open tonight on the Partners Workshop. Partners, feel free to email your questions ahead of time. We take all emailed questions first, and then we just open the floor for discussion. Whatever anybody wants to talk about, whatever area you need help or training in, we're all over. Okay? I don't know why that would pop up there, but strange things happen. Okay. All right, guys. You know the drill. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this: there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.